Thanks for tuning in. This is the Sweet Cyclist. Today we're going to be looking at the Topeak Redlite Aero USB 1-watt taillight. So here we have the Topeak Redlite Aero USB 1-watt. I want to thank Topeak for providing this to be reviewed. This is one of their brightest taillights at 55 lumens. As the name implies, it can mount both on normal seatposts and aero seatposts, and has an aerodynamic profile, so it's rather narrow and tall. If we go over some of the packaging itself, you can see it's really well done. It displays well on the shelf. It has this nice yellow accent color on the inside and this great kind of try-me feature, which lets you actually click through the different modes. You also have really high contrast lettering on here. It's black on white, really easy to see. It has 4 different modes. You can see the multi-language display on back, as well as the fact that you get 220 degree visibility and some infographics on the side. We'll go ahead and take it out of the packaging and review some of the specs. This is a $45 taillight. And as I mentioned, it's one of their brightest that Topeak currently offers. It has an onboard lithium-ion battery that's USB rechargeable. It has 4 different output modes, 2 constant, and 2 blinking variations. And one of my favorite features about the light is the fact that it has multiple mounting options right out of the box. You don't have to pay extra for additional accessories. So you can mount this on an aero seat post, a normal seat post, as well as seat stays right out of the box. If we look at what comes in the box, you get the basic packaging, you get the user manual, you get the taillight itself, and as the Aero name implies, it has this kind of aerodynamic profile to it with a very thin trailing edge. This is a COB LED design as well. You get the USB charging cable, and then you get a little bag of goodies for mounting. So this uses kind of the standard rubber strap approach. So we get 4 different rubber straps. And what's kind of ingenious about this taillight is the mounting hooks are actually built into the taillight itself. So there's no second piece or anything. And you get 4 different sizes depending on where you want to mount the light. What's really ingenious about this light, I think, is the mounting design. And you get 4 different mounting options. You get the body clip. As you can see, kind of a standard clip design. You get an aero seat post clip with this very narrow profile. And this is designed to prevent it from rolling around. And then you get the standard style, and you can see it's just a flat rubber. And this is great for a standard round seat post. And to use these are all interchangeable. So you can see there's a nice slot in here, and I simply slide it through, and that's it. So really great. So if you want to switch this between 2 different bikes, or put it on your backpack one day, you just slide it in, slide in the correct way, and then you hear a nice click, and that's it. They're very ingenious. All right, now let's look at the weight of the taillight. If we just put the light itself with integrated batteries, that comes out to 40 grams. And this is with the rubber strap for a round seat post. The other ones are pretty similar in weight. If we add the little rubber strap for your seat post, that brings the weight up to 44 grams, so pretty lightweight. So now let's take a closer look at the Topeak Redlite taillight. You can see the design is really well done. It's very modern looking, while at the same time offering the COB LED design. It's really bright with the reflective elements all the way around. It has 220 degrees of visibility, so really great side visibility with all these protrusions and transparent elements. If we go around the taillight, you can see the front, you basically have this COB LED design. So it gives you a very uniform light compared to like a non-COB. On the sides you have the Topeak logo and the 1 watt on here, and as I mentioned, the mounts are actually molded directly into the lens, which is really cool. On the right side of the taillight you have a rubber button to run through the different modes. And what's weird about this is you can't actually long hold. You actually just have to do a single click to cycle through. And that's a little bit inconvenient, as most products seem to have a long hold to turn it on and off. We actually saw this on the Topeak Headlux 450 as well. So maybe that's just a characteristic of Topeak items. And this also means you have no memory since you can't actually shut it off in any mode. You have to actually cycle through to get to off. On the bottom, you have a nice USB port. And the nice thing about this is it's not behind it, so you could actually charge this while it's on the bike. And you have a little rubber cover. This is IPX6 waterproof, which means it should handle your standard rainy days very easily. My favorite part of it is the back side though. This little slot here, it's really ingenious. We saw this with the Magicshine CME60. In that one, they offered an aero option as well, but it was using adhesive, which meant you couldn't really interchange these. With this design, I can easily switch my bike from aero to non-aero by simply sliding it in. So it's really great. It's interchangeable and it's non-permanent too. So I think they did a great job with that. In terms of mounting, really easy as well. Standard kind of rubber strap and you just loop it over. Now let's compare the Redlite Aero versus some other taillights on the market. What I've arranged here is everything from your traditional taillight all the way to the modern smart taillights. So starting from the left, we have a traditional AAA battery Planet Bike Super Flash. And if you've been into cycling, you've definitely run into Super Flash design. They're really cheap, really great visibility. And then as things progressed, you get these more advanced AAA battery lights with more LEDs. This is Topeak's Redlite Mega, which is very bright. As technology went forward, we started getting USB rechargeable lights. This is a Light Motion model. Again, really bright, but again, still bulky. Larger with heavier plastics. As the technology has improved though, costs have gone down and LEDs have become smaller, and now we can see these more compact design. This is a Fenix BC05R. I'll put the review on the top right. USB Type-C, $20 and 10 lumens, but comparing the size, it's much smaller. We also have more unique form factors, like the VIA switch from Light Motion. Has a USB receptacle built in, and then a single button with a single LED. With COB LED designs, we get these more uniform distributions. This is the Magicshine CME60, and you can see it's composed of a grid of LEDs. So it has a really nice modern appearance, and also has a motion detection. So how the Topeak Redlite Aero fits in here is you can see they've really gone smaller in size. If you compare Topeak versus Topeak, it's a lot less bulky, more narrow. And then in terms of brightness, the COB LEDs do a great job compared to the traditional single LED. And you can see it's much more uniform and distributed. And with this housing design, it's also a lot more modern looking. If we compare this versus the Planet Bike, you can see the plastic housing has been recessed significantly, and the transparent body with the integrated hooks give it a much sleeker appearance that's more consistent with the newer taillights on the market. Now let's take a look at the Topeak Aero taillight light output. There are 4 modes, 2 constant, a high and a low. Low is good for 4 hours. Then we have 2 blinking modes. We have a normal blinking mode with 15 hours, and then a pulse mode with 50 hours. Note, Topeak does not publish the lumen count for the different modes. It's also worth pointing out that due to the transparent housing, there's a lot of great side visibility with this taillight. On the road at night, this taillight has great amount of visibility. Even from a long distance, you can see it. And it has a very dispersed beam. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the Topeak Aero taillight. Some of the things I like about the taillight are the 220-degree visibility. It really has great side visibility due to the transparent housing. Regardless of what mode you're in, the whole thing lights up. So really great visibility at night. Topeak also includes the Aero post adapter and body clip with a very clever mounting design. And as aero bikes and aero seat posts become more popular, that makes this taillight something you can use on multiple bikes. And lastly, I really like the overall design and brightness of the taillight. With the COB LED design, it's a very modern and sleek taillight. Some of the things I don't like are the tall form factor, which is makes it a little awkward to put on your backpack just due to the height. It also has a low battery warning and it's very easy to miss. There's a little side light that you have to look for once the battery gets too low. And finally, Topeak has a very odd interface. It has a single button, but you can long press it to turn it on. you have to cycle through the modes, which is a little bit unusual. Now let's give the light a final rating. Out of 10, I would give it a 9. This is a very powerful and easy to mount taillight. Topeak has done a great job modernizing a typical taillight with a COB LED, rechargeable USB, and a very clever mounting means you can actually post this on an aero bike without it kind of flopping around. So overall, I think it's a great light, great power. It doesn't have some of the smart features that some of the newer lights have, but I think it has everything you need. Thanks for watching this review, and don't forget to like and subscribe to support the channel. You can follow us on Instagram at The Sweet Cyclist, as well as our website, thesweetcyclist.com, for additional content. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.